Sadyang mapusok ang tadhana. Sa ihip ng hangin, naiiba ang daloy ng buhay. Sa ilang pagkakataon naman, walang awang tinatangay ang lahat-lahat sa hindi ng bayo ng isang once-in-a-lifetime natural calamity. Noong November 8, 2013, naranasan ng Leyte ang pagupit ng bagyong Yolanda.
The first sign of trouble was when the glass door at the back of the building broke. It's a thick glass door that won't easily go. Then the wind was so strong, and many of the stuff inside was really being scattered by the wind. So that was the first sign of trouble that we told everybody in the building that we have to make sure that everybody's safe. Then by 7 o'clock, the water came. And so it was quite fast, and we had to rush to everybody would have to rush to the second level, only to find out that the roof of the building was already gone. Okay, and many debris up there was really flying. Okay, many of those glass windows being shattered. It was like bullets, okay, flying debris. So we stayed in the staircase, somewhere in the middle, safe from the water below and safe from the debris up. And I will tell you, that was the first time I literally feared for my life.
Binalaga ng bagyong Yolanda ang buong Visayas region. Bagamat maaga at accurate ang mga babala mula sa ilang weather agencies ukol sa lakas ng Super Typhoon Yolanda, tila'y hindi naunawaan ng kahit sino man ang kagimbal-gimbal na panganib na dala nitong storm surge.
Nung binabayo kami ng hangin, dumating yung alon. Sabi nila, tubig. Sabi ko, hinahon lang kayo, okay lang yan. Nung pangalawa, hanggang baywang na yung tubig. Sabi nila, takbo, punta sa bundok. Ay, sandali lang kasi ako humahawak ng pintuan eh. Ako humahawak ng pintuan. Nung nakalabas na lahat, dahil sa lakas ng agos, naipit ako. Naipit ako doon sa pintuan. Yung huling lumabas, sabi ko, tulungan mo ako. Hindi na siya tumulong dahil natatakot na rin. So ako, nagsumikap na rin ako na makalabas ako sa pintuan. So nung nakalabas ako, hindi rin ako makalayo kasi yung bag ko nasa loob pa rin. So nakukuha ako ng bag ko na naipit din ako. Mabuti may bumalik sa akin, yung isang kasama ko, sinabi na doon naipit daw ako doon sa pintuan. So tinulungan ako. Kaya nakalabas din ako sa room na yon. Ngayon lumipat kami doon sa kabilang room. Sabi ko, wag na tayo tumakbo doon. Papunta kasi doon, mababa. Kaya doon na kami sa isang kwarto, yung pabukas ng pintuan. Hanggang lumakas uli, nag-change uli yung hangin kasi mataas na yung tubig eh. Siguro nakatapak na kami ng bangko at saka hanggang liig pa sa amin yung tubig. Ngayon, sandali lang nung nag-change yung hangin, yung galing south, yung hangin southwest, yung tubig, siguro mga 45 minutes, parang nawala yung tubig, parang itinulak papuntang Tanawan, papuntang Palutong hanggang Tacloban. Kaya mga 11, wala nang masyadong tubig.
Parang yun, nababasag yun. Para kami nirarapido ng Armalite. Nagtatakbuhan kami doon, tumatawag kami sa mga poste. At yung mga almost 7 or 8 na yun, nung magkaroon na ng storm surge, hindi pa namin alam na mayroon na. Nakita namin na lang doon sa labas na may tubig. Tapos pagtingin namin dito sa likod ng municipal hall, tubig na, saka ang bilis lang tumaas ng tubig. Dito sa floor na ito ng municipal hall, hanggang liig yung tubig. So kami dito, dahil sira na talaga yung mga gamit dito, parang washing machine. Makikita mo sa washing machine, umiikot talaga sila yung mga tables, yung mga maski sa taas, dito sa baba. Ganun din kasi yung tubig, umiikot talaga. Sabi ko, mabubuhay pa kaya kami dito.
Then we tried to salvage any food, noodles, rice. They're all wet already during that time. We're trying to salvage them, because I'm sure we needed them right after the typhoon. And finally, it subsided. I went outside of the building, okay, and the scene I have seen was so terrible. It was like a war zone.
Sa kasawiang palad, ang bagyong Yolanda ang naging deadliest natural disaster sa Pilipinas. Mahigit 6,000 ang inabot ng death toll sa buong Visayas region at may 1,799 pang nawawala. 16 milyong katao ang apektado at tinatayang 571.1 billion ang overall economic losses ng Pilipinas.
Ang pinsala sa Tanawan, Leyte. Higit sa 1,300 katao ang nabawian ng buhay. Ang pinakamalaking death toll, sunod sa Tacloban.
Ang kawalan ng kuryente, komunikasyon at tulong ay nakadagdag pa sa mga fundamental relief concerns sa medical care, food and water, security at temporary shelter. Para sa mga survivors ng Typhoon Yolanda, malagim ang mga sumunod na minuto, oras at araw.
And people started to ask me, Mayor, anong gagawin natin? Anong gagawin natin? And honestly, I wasn't too sure during that time what needed to be done, but what I told them was, don't worry, help will come. I had to reassure them that help will come.
Kahangahangang Pilipinas. Kahangahangang Pilipinas.
Hindi bagito ang munisipalidad ng Tanawan sa mapupusok na alon ng dagat. Noong 1897, isang montanya o masa de agua o gabundok na storm surge ang naghasiklagim sa kanilang bayan. Malawak ang pinsalang idinulot nito. Ngunit kung may isang aral na ipinapaalala ang kasaysayan, ito ay ang kaalamang kayang-kaya ng Tanawan na umahon mula sa anumang pagbabahang dulot ng tadhana.
Gaya ng Tanawan ng nakaraan, na ipamalas muli ang tatag at tapang ng mga taga-Tanawan. Lahat ay gumawa ng paraan upang mag-survive at makatulong. Sa ikatlong araw, si Mayor mismo ang tumahak sa kaguluhan upang humingi ng saklolo.
We were ready to go already by chopper to bring the food, okay, to Tanawan. Then Captain Trinidad said, Mayor, we have to wait for another plane. Another plane's gonna touch down. So we have to wait after this. And I think this was providential because this plane, when it landed, this was full of doctors, surgeons from the US. So we went by chopper. I think there were, 4 or 5 trips to Tanawan. So when we go by Tanawan now, and so obviously we cannot land here in this plaza. So we went straight to the alternate landing site, which was the Bantay Dagat area. It's a shoreline, so we had a sea approach. And I can imagine, I was in the plane, I done the chopper. The moment we hovered, all the people were running towards that direction. So we landed, then I was the first one who went out of the plane, and good for me because the people recognized, oh, it's Mayor, it's Mayor. Then there were many people there, so many people, and you know that these people were hungry already. Many of them were panicking. So again, I had to find an area tall enough where I can speak with them. And I was shouting top of my voice already and saying, hey, because it was noisy because of the chopper, please calm down. There's food. What I have now are doctors who will also help us. Next chopper arrived, and this was all the relief food were in that chopper. Okay, and it wasn't enough for the people queuing up there. but it was good enough to send a signal that help is coming.
Daig nga ng maaga pang masipag, walang paligo, walang pahinga, basta tuloy-tuloy lang ang serbisyo at pagkakapit-bisig. Sa pagdating ng karagdagang saklolo mula sa iba't ibang grupo, unti-unting naibsan ang takot at hinagpis ng mga taga-Tanawan. Matapos ang primary needs tulad ng food, shelter at medical care, kailangan namang tugunin ang ibang issue tulad ng livelihood.
Yung nangyari naman po nga damage sa agricultural sector po namin, luckily po dahil November 8 na po yun, mostly po, majority po ng mga farmers namin nakapag-harvest na. Actually, yung standing crop namin was around 392 hectares na lang po, yung to be harvest at that time. Out of 2,300 na nataniman namin ng palay, yung to be harvest na lang was around 392. So, medyo hindi masyado. Pero yung mga natira, ang nangyari sa kanila, yung grains ng palay, yun ang natatangin ng hangin kasi nakatayo pa yung rice pero wala nang nakatayo pa yung palay pero wala nang grain, so parang ganun. Pero ang malaking damage talaga namin was sa coconut. Around coconut, 95% po ng coconut namin nasira, na damage na natumba po tapos kunti na lang po yung nakatayo, around 5%. So yung mga nakatayo naman, it would take around a year pa bago bumalik yung pamumunga nila kasi naano din yung nila. So ang ginawa naman po namin doon sa sa mga farmers namin is ang ginawa namin is inassist po namin yung extent ng damage at saka ano yung pangangailangan nila. So we are lucky kasi marami mga NGO na nag-respond sa amin. Nag-provide po sila ng mga production inputs like seeds and fertilizers. Sa mga fishing naman po, halos lahat ng mga fishing boats nila inanod. Maski nga yung patrol boat namin, nakapark yun dito in sa munisipyo, inanod rin dahil sa baha. So ang nangyari, dahil sa may pagka-imaginative naman po tayong mga Pilipino, yung ref, yun ang ginawa nilang, yung refrigerator, yung body ng refrigerator, yun ang ginawa nilang pansamantalang bangka para makapangisda sila. Kasi wala talaga silang magamit na sa pangisda.
Malaki ang epekto ng magkaroon ng Super Typhoon Yolanda. Kasi nung wala pang Yolanda, regular ang pagtatanim namin sa sinasabing dry season. Nagtatanim kami ng June, July. Sa wet season, magtatanim kami ng November, December. Nang dumating ang Yolanda, November, pagka December hindi kami nakapagtanim. Pag January hindi pa kami nakapagtanim. February na. Nahirapan talaga mga farmers kasi mostly ang affected lalo na sa mga irrigated area, yung mga facility ng irigasyon nasira. At saka yung hindi naman irrigated, wala namang ulan pagdating ng January, December, hindi nakapagtanim agad. So ganun ang nangyari.
Maraming rumisponde sa mga pangangailangan ng mga magsasaka at mangingisda. Ang long-time development partner nila na GIZ or German Development Cooperation sa Ingles ay nag-abot ng relief sa Tanawan at sa iba pang Yolanda-affected areas sa anyo ng seeds at fertilizer, solar lamps, fisher boat repair kits at iba pa.
Bawat isang farmers bibigyan ng isang sakong seeds. Tapos mayroon pang fertilizer. Yun ang nakaano kami. Medyo naka-recover, kapagtanim agad. Tapos yun, pagdating ng May, nakapag-harvest kami.
Yung insurance sa mga farmers na beneficiary. Tapos yung mga palayan namin, yung binibigyan ng insurance sa CIC at sa GIC, yung personal insurance na binigay sa amin.
Yung plywood at saka pako at saka epoxy para pamagawa ng bangka. Tapos pag nagawa namin yung bangka ng sarili namin, binibigyan pa kami ng cash for work na 1,500.
Sa suporta ng GIZ at ng iba pang mga ahensya at NGO, unti-unti nang naghihilom ang farming at fishing community ng Tanawan.
Kahangahangang Pilipinas. Kahangahangang Pilipinas.
Delikado na mga unang araw at linggo matapos ang isang malaking sakuna. Sa panahong ito, make or break ang bawat galaw, life or death ang bawat desisyon. Para sa local government ng Tanawan, time was of the essence. Kaya't maaga pa lang, nakafocus na sila sa long-term rehabilitation ng kanilang komunidad. Kailangan gumawa ng isang comprehensive rehabilitation plan sa lalong madaling panahon.
Before Yolanda, ina-update namin yung comprehensive development plan namin. So approve 'yon. So nang mangyari ang Yolanda, nandoon na, meron na kami. So ang ginawa ni Mayor was in-assist namin. So tinanong sa amin kung ano yung extent ng damage. Bali yun ang naging basis. So ilang linggo after Yolanda, meron na kaming naka-plaster na rehabilitation plan. Actually, sabi nga nila ni Secretary Lexon, kami yung pinaka-first na LGU na mayroon rehabilitation plan na naka-in place na. Kasi yun talaga ang ginawa ni Mayor.
My plan is straightforward. It's not complicated. In fact, the overall plan can fit into one page. Okay, it has 3 pillars. First is shelter. Number 2, livelihood and infrastructure. And very selected programs in each of those pillars. Okay, so it's like a multiple choice. If you were the benefactor, you can just choose which ones to pick. Okay, and it's not perfect, but I thought what was more important is speed. You submit that immediately and get support on it. And I thought that was important. And it's going to be an iterative process. We'll just keep improving the plan. What is important is you immediately submit the plan.
Tulad dati, ang GIZ ang naging numero 1 kaakibat ng Tanawan at ng buong lalawigan ng Leyte sa wastong pagsasaayos ng kanilang comprehensive rehabilitation plan.
Nandun yung GIZ, tinulungan nila kami na maggawa ng rehabilitation plan. So, gamit pa rin yung land use base namin, naggawa kami ng rehabilitation plan considering the different distractions that happened to our community and the existing land uses and the development trust that we have. So, ginawa siyang jump start ng Mayor para makapag-develop yung Tanawan from not only to where it was prior to Yolanda, but to be a better Tanawan than what it was prior to Yolanda.
Well, the rehabilitation is basically planning for rehabilitation is a very difficult process because, now you don't see it anymore here. You see now construction sprouting left and right, so Tacloban City is really recovering. But in the first weeks and months, local government really where everything was in shambles, nothing was working. They did not even have buildings, they did not have offices, there was no power, there was no communication. So it was really like they had really an empty system that they had to somehow get back into functioning.
GIZ has been very helpful for us because as we were pulling together the plans, the rehabilitation plan, okay, the GIZ team was very helpful in helping my planning team. Also fine-tune many of the plans that we put together.
Even at the start of GIZ, I think GIZ was seeing us as a local government na hindi lang tumatanggap ng tulong, but tinitingnan rin namin kung paano kami makaka-contribute. We try to innovate things because we take it as we benefit from what GIZ has done, and we would be beneficial to whatever would we undertake based on the learnings that we have. would benefit not only the present people, but the future residents of our community.
Isang taon matapos ang trahedya ng Yolanda, nangunguna pa rin sila sa pagbangon. Tunay ngang kahanga-hanga ang munisipalidad ng Tanawan. Isang ehemplo ng determinasyon ng Pilipinong magtagumpay sa pagkalugmok. At sa mga panahong rumaragasa ang trahedya, nariyan ang kwento ng Tanawan, isang paalala sa ating lahat na kapag may katatagan ng loob at pagmamalasakit sa kapwa, lulusong at lulusong din ang dugong bayani na dumadaloy sa mga ugat ng bawat Pilipino.
Kayamanan ng bayan at kababayan, karunungan, karangalan, hindi mo matatawaran. Likas ang kayamanan ng bayan at kababayan, karunungan, karangalan, hindi mo matatawaran. Likas ang kayamanan ng bayan at kababayan, karunungan, karangalan, hindi mo matatawaran. Likas ang kayamanan ng bayan